cutting-edge electronics, advanced batteries, green energy infrastructure, defense technologies, all of these things rely heavily on rare earth minerals. And the United States, which of course is very rich in potential reserves, currently lacks the processing infrastructure to compete with China in the short term. And if you think that the United States can easily replace China in this regard, I would advise you to just look at New York subways to get a sense of the state of our American infrastructure. It's not a pretty picture. So this dynamic that I just described has turned rare earth into a new key aspect in US-China relations, joining a growing list of issues including semiconductors, tariffs, AI, and of course military tensions in the South China Sea, and so many more issues that cannot be resolved unless, arguably, the United States approaches them from a realistic perspective without hubris. For its part, China is walking a very careful line too. On one hand, it wants to demonstrate cooperation, it wants to show that it's willing to engage diplomatically, which it does every single time, especially if it hopes to reduce some of the tariffs and technology restrictions that have been imposed by Washington. Then on the other side of that spectrum, China defends its own interests, as it should, and just like the United States. So, by approving some exports, enough to show good faith and enough to show goodwill, but not enough to surrender its strategic edge, Beijing is effectively betting on a very meticulously calculated form of diplomacy. The coming days will reveal whether the bet actually pays off. Delegations from both sides are meeting in London on June the 9th, and their goal is to have an agreement that restores the steady flow of rare earth while also addressing broader trade imbalances. And this is something that President Trump won't compromise on, as it appears. If they succeed, it could ease one of the key pressure points in the US-China relationship and bring much-needed clarity to the global tech and auto industries. But if talks are unsuccessful, the supply of these critical minerals could once again be caught in the crossfire, and with it, of course, the pace of innovation across several strategic sectors that the United States heavily relies on. So the stakes could not be higher, as you can see, I'm sure.